Picture this scenario. It's Sunday night. You're lying in bed, phone in hand, and for the first time in months, you actually open your banking app. Not to transfer money, not to pay a bill, just to see where you stand. You scroll down. Netflix, Spotify, Hulu, Adobe, LinkedIn Premium, Calm, Duolingo Plus, Amazon Prime, YouTube Premium, Dropbox, Headspace, NordVPN. 12 separate charges, all on autopilot, all pulling money from your account every single month without asking permission, without sending a reminder, without you even thinking about them. Now, here's the number that should make your stomach drop. The average American household is currently paying $219 per month on subscription services. That's $2,628 per year. And a 2024 study by C+R Research found that consumers underestimate their monthly subscription spending by over 197%, which means people think they're spending around $86 a month, when the real number is nearly $219. You are paying for a lifestyle you forgot you ordered. And it gets worse. If you took that $219 every month instead of bleeding it into forgotten app subscriptions and invested it in a basic S&P 500 index fund from age 30 to age 65 at an average annual return of 10%, you would have $812,000. You are not just paying for Netflix. You are paying for Netflix instead of retirement. Today, I'm going to show you exactly how the subscription economy was engineered to drain your bank account without triggering your spending instincts, and the specific steps to escape the trap permanently. If you've ever looked at your bank statement and felt genuinely confused about where your money went, if you've ever thought, I don't spend that much, I don't go out, I don't buy expensive things, and still found yourself with nothing left at the end of the month, this video is going to make a lot of things click into place. My name is Rick, and I spend way too much time thinking about the invisible financial systems that are quietly working against you. The traps that don't look like traps, the drains that don't feel like drains, the costs that were specifically designed to be forgettable. If you're someone who wants to finally understand where your money is actually going, and more importantly, how to stop the bleeding, make sure to hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. It genuinely helps this channel reach people who need to hear this. Now, let's talk about the most sophisticated financial drain in modern history. Let's go back to 2007. That year, a small software company called Salesforce was pioneering something called the Software as a Service model, or SaaS. The idea was simple. Instead of selling you a product once for $200, they would charge you $20 per month, forever. On the surface, this looked like a consumer benefit. Lower upfront cost, flexible, cancel anytime. But here's what was actually happening. Under the old model, a company had to earn your purchase every single time. They had to build something good enough that you'd voluntarily hand over money. The transaction required your active, conscious decision. Under the subscription model, the default state is that money keeps leaving your account. You don't have to decide to keep paying. You have to actively decide to stop. And human psychology is heavily biased toward inaction. Behavioral economists call this status quo bias. We are wired to stick with whatever is already happening. Changing requires effort. Effort requires attention, and attention is the one thing these companies are specifically designed to avoid triggering. This is not an accident, it's engineering. In 2019, McKinsey & Company published a report analyzing the subscription economy and found that it had grown 437% over 9 years, from 2012 to 2019. That's a rate of growth that outpaced the S&P 500 by a factor of 5. The subscription economy didn't explode because it was better for consumers, it exploded because it was astronomically more profitable for companies. A customer who buys something once is a transaction. A customer on a subscription is an asset on a balance sheet. Now, I want you to understand something about how your brain processes these charges, because this is where the real trap is. There's a psychological phenomenon called pain of paying. Research by Carnegie Mellon economists Strawson Prelek and Duncan Simster shows that the act of paying for something activates the same neural pathways as physical pain. When you hand over cash at a restaurant, your brain literally registers something like discomfort. This is a built-in financial safety mechanism. It makes you think twice. But here's the problem with subscriptions. They were specifically designed to eliminate the pain of paying. When a charge hits your credit card automatically, there is no conscious decision. There is no moment of hesitation at the checkout. There's no hand reaching into a wallet. The pain of paying is reduced to almost zero, and with it, your brain's natural spending alarm system gets completely bypassed. The companies building these products know this, and they build their entire pricing models around it. Consider this. A 2022 study published in the Journal of Marketing Research found that 84% of people significantly underestimate how many subscriptions they currently have, not by 1 or 2, by an average of 4 subscriptions. You think you have 6, you have 10. You might be thinking, Rick, I know what I pay for. I'm careful about this stuff. And I hear you, but this is exactly what the trap is designed to make you feel. Confidence in your memory is the vulnerability. Let me show you why. Let me walk you through 2 people. Same age, same income, same starting point. Marcus is 32. He earns $65,000 a year. He's reasonably careful with money. He doesn't have crazy credit card debt, he cooks most nights, doesn't drive a flashy car, doesn't go out every weekend. But Marcus has subscriptions. Let's count them. Netflix, $22.99 per month. Spotify, $11.99 per month. Amazon Prime, $14.99 per month. Hulu, $17.99 per month. YouTube Premium, $13.99 per month. Adobe Creative Cloud, $54.99 per month. LinkedIn Premium, $39.99 per month. Dropbox Plus, $11.99 per month. Calm, $14.99 per month. NordVPN, $11.99 per month. Duolingo Plus, $6.99 per month. iCloud 200 gigabytes, $2.99 per month. Total, $225.88 per month, $2,710 per year. Marcus doesn't think of himself as someone who spends $2,710 a year on apps. He thinks of himself as someone who pays for Netflix and Spotify. The individual amounts are so small, $7 here, $15 there, that his brain never registers them as a meaningful budget category. This is called the latte effect on steroids. You've heard the stop buying lattes advice. That's $5 a day, maybe $150 a month if you're aggressive. Subscriptions are $226 a month on complete autopilot with zero daily pleasure signal. At least when you buy the latte, you enjoy the latte. When did Marcus enjoy his NordVPN? When did he last open Calm? How many Duolingo lessons has he done in the last 90 days? Now meet Patricia. Same age, same income as Marcus. Patricia did something Marcus didn't. 6 months ago, she sat down and audited every single subscription on her bank statement. She asked herself one question for each one. If this disappeared tomorrow, would I pay to get it back? Adobe. Yes, she uses it for work. Amazon Prime. Yes, she orders often enough. Spotify. Yes, she uses it daily. Netflix. Yes. Everything else? Gone. Patricia cut her subscription spending from $226 a month to $104 a month, a difference of $122 per month. She automated that $122 per month directly into a Roth IRA. At 10% average annual return over 33 years until retirement at 65, Marcus's $122 per month lost to forgotten apps would have become $389,000. Patricia is building toward $389,000 in retirement wealth. Marcus is funding software companies that count him as a recurring revenue asset. Same income, same age, same starting point. The subscription audit changed everything. But wait, it gets worse. Canceling a subscription sounds easy. It is not. These companies have invested millions of dollars in what the industry calls churn prevention, UX specifically designed to make cancellation as cognitively expensive as possible. Here's a breakdown of the most common tactics. Tactic number 1, the cancellation journey. Most streaming services require you to navigate 4 to 6 screens to cancel. Each screen introduces friction. Are you sure? Here's what you'll lose. What if we paused your account instead? Research from the University of Michigan shows that every additional click required in a cancellation flow reduces the cancellation completion rate by approximately 17%. They're not making it hard by accident. Tactic number 2, the annual lock-in. You signed up monthly, it was fine. Then they offered you 50% off if you switched to annual. You said yes. Now your $20 a month became $120 upfront, and cancellation feels like losing money you already paid. This is pure loss aversion psychology. You're not losing money by canceling. You lost it when you paid, but your brain doesn't register it that way. Tactic number 3, the price creep. In 2023 alone, Netflix raised prices, Disney Plus raised prices, Spotify raised prices, Amazon Prime raised prices. The typical subscription you signed up for in 2020 costs between 30 and 60% more today. But because the change happened gradually, $1 here, $2 there, your brain adapted to each new baseline without triggering the price sensitivity alarm it would have triggered if the full increase happened at once. You signed up for Netflix at $9.99. You're now paying $22.99. That's a 130% price increase in 5 years. Would you have signed up at $22.99? Probably not, but here you are. Tactic number 4, the sunk cost hook. I've been paying for Duolingo for 8 months. I might start using it seriously soon. This is the sunk cost fallacy. The money you spent in those 8 months is gone regardless of whether you keep paying. The only rational question is, will I use this enough going forward to justify the future cost? But the psychological weight of past payments keeps millions of people subscribed to apps they haven't opened since January. Here's a phenomenon that has caught an enormous number of people in the last 3 years. The streaming wars created something called bundle fragmentation. In 2015, you paid for Netflix and had access to essentially everything worth watching on a streaming platform. Netflix had nearly all the content. What happened next was the content was split across platforms deliberately. Disney pulled its content off Netflix to launch Disney Plus. Warner pulled content to launch HBO Max. NBC pulled content for Peacock. Paramount launched Paramount Plus. Apple launched Apple TV Plus. Amazon pushed more content to Prime Video. ESPN launched ESPN Plus. The content that used to fit under one $9.99 a month subscription now requires 5 separate subscriptions totaling $80 to $90 a month. You aren't paying for more value, you're paying more for the same value that was previously consolidated. And the numbers bear this out. According to Parks Associates research from 2024, the average American household subscribes to 4.7 streaming services. The average monthly spend on streaming alone is $61 per household, up from $23 in 2018. You might be thinking, okay, Rick, but I need something to watch, and I hear you. But this is exactly the question you need to ask yourself. Are you subscribing to all of these simultaneously, or are you rotating? The rotation strategy, subscribing to one platform for 2 to 3 months, binging what you want, then canceling and moving to the next, costs the average household roughly $25 a month instead of $61 a month. That's $432 per year back in your pocket from streaming alone. You don't have to give up the content, you just have to stop funding every platform simultaneously. Now I want to talk about the category that quietly drains the most money from people who consider themselves financially aware: professional and productivity subscriptions. Adobe Creative Cloud, $659 per year for individuals. Microsoft 365, $100 per year. LinkedIn Premium, $480 per year. Grammarly Premium, $144 per year. Notion Plus, $96 per year. Canva Pro, $120 per year. Slack Pro, if freelancing, $87 per year. An independent professional, freelancer, or small business owner can easily accumulate $1,500 to $2,000 per year in professional software subscriptions alone, many of which offer free tiers that cover 90% of the actual use case. Here's the question nobody asks. Are you using the premium features, or are you paying for the premium tier because you signed up during a free trial and forgot to downgrade? A 2023 survey by Productive found that in corporate environments, 56% of SaaS subscriptions were underutilized, meaning employees were using less than 10% of the features. The same dynamic plays out at the individual level. Adobe Illustrator is extraordinary software, but if you're using it to make 3 graphics a month, the free version of Canva achieves the same outcome at $0. This isn't about being cheap, it's about paying for outcomes, not features you never activate. Let me give you the full picture, because this is where I need you to really sit with the math. I want you to think about what you've spent on subscriptions since you first started having them. For most people in their late 20s or 30s, that's probably 10 years minimum. 10 years at even a conservative $150 per month average, which is below what the research says the actual average is, equals $18,000. $18,000 in a decade, gone. Not to experiences you remember, not to things you own, to recurring charges from apps, many of which you couldn't tell me the last time you used. Now, compound it forward. A 30-year-old who eliminates $100 per month in redundant subscriptions today and invests that instead, over 35 years at 10% average annual return, accumulates $379,000 by age 65. A 35-year-old who does the same accumulates $226,000 by 65. A 40-year-old, $133,000. Every year you delay this audit costs you roughly $13,000 to $15,000 in future wealth. This isn't theoretical. This is arithmetic. Here's what I want you to do this week. Not this month, this week, because as we just established, delay is expensive. Step 1, get the real number. Go to your bank statement and your credit card statement. Go back 60 days. Write down every single recurring charge. Do not rely on memory. Memory is exactly the vulnerability these companies exploit. Look for anything with the words subscription, monthly, annual, plan, plus, or premium. Write the monthly cost next to each one. If it's annual, divide by 12. Add them up. I promise you the number is higher than you expected. Step 2. Apply the disappearance test. For every subscription on your list, ask yourself, if this app disappeared from my phone tomorrow, would I pay to get it back? Not, could I see myself using it more in the future? Not, I paid for it already, so I might as well keep it. Specifically, would you voluntarily open your wallet today if it were gone? If the answer is anything other than an immediate yes, it gets cut. Step 3, implement the rotation system. For streaming services specifically, don't cancel everything at once and feel deprived. Pick your top 2, keep those. Cancel everything else. When you've finished with the content you want on those 2 platforms in 2 to 3 months, swap one out for the next platform on your list. You get everything you want to watch, you just don't get it simultaneously. Step 4, audit every 90 days. The subscription economy is designed to be invisible. New subscriptions creep back in, free trials you forget to cancel, annual renewals that slip through unnoticed. Put a recurring 90-day calendar reminder on your phone right now. Title it Subscription Audit. That's it. Every quarter, repeat step 1 and step 2. Step 5, automate the recaptured money. This is the step most people skip, and it's the most important one. When you cancel a $15 subscription, that money doesn't automatically go to a better use. It evaporates into slightly higher restaurant spending or an extra delivery order. You don't feel richer and you don't build wealth. The moment you cancel a subscription, set up an automatic transfer for the same amount on the same date every month into an investment account. Make the good decision once and let the system run. The recaptured money needs a destination before it's recaptured. Otherwise, lifestyle inflation absorbs it silently. Here's what I need you to understand before you close this video. The subscription economy was not built to make your life more convenient. It was built to make companies' revenue more predictable. By keeping money flowing out of your account on autopilot, below the threshold of conscious awareness, using psychology that you were never taught to recognize. You're not bad with money because you have too many subscriptions. You're caught in a system that was engineered by some of the smartest product teams on the planet to make their drain invisible. Now you see it. The people who build real wealth in this economy aren't necessarily the ones who earn the most. They're the ones who refuse to let their money leak at the seams. They audit, they rotate, they automate the difference. The average American household will spend over $131,400 on subscriptions over a 50-year period. The household that audits regularly and eliminates $120 a month in waste will, over that same period, have built over $800,000 instead. That's the real cost of the subscription trap, and now you know exactly how to escape it. If this video changed the way you think about where your money goes every month, hit the like button. It genuinely helps this channel reach the people who need to hear this. Subscribe if you want to keep seeing the financial systems that were never explained to you. And before you go, there's a video on this channel that goes deep on the next trap in this exact category, the banking system charging you fees specifically because you have less money. It connects directly to what we talked about today. Don't let the system keep winning on autopilot. This video is for educational purposes only and does not constitute financial advice.